Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of Stanford Live. We are so excited to have Natalie and Teddy here from our radiology team. They are here to talk with us more about a day in the life of being a radiology technologist, what goes into it, training, all of the ins and outs of it. So without further ado, I will pass it over to Teddy and Natalie.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
My name's Teddy, and this is Natalie, and we are from Stanford Healthcare. I'm just going to give a quick little background on myself. I went to school in Santa Cruz, which is just over the hill from the Bay Area here. And when I was applying for jobs, Stanford was the first place that actually got back to me. And I went in and I interviewed with Natalie here. So straight out of school, first job. I was really excited to come here because when I was at school on the other side of the hill, we sent a lot of patients to Stanford, a lot of tough patients, a lot of critical cases, a lot of crazy different situations and scenarios. And I just remember telling myself, I really want to go to Stanford. So it all ended up working out, and here we are. So I'm one of the supervisors. So Stanford is a level 1 trauma facility here in the Bay Area in Palo Alto. It consists of the original Stanford Hospital, which is 300p. And then we recently built a brand new, beautiful building, which you can see in our background here, which is called 500p. And at 500p, we have 368 private rooms, 76 trauma bays, and 20 state-of-the-art OR suites. And that's just at 500p. We have pediatric trauma at 300p. And then we also have OR suites over there. We also have our main GI department at 300p. And so we have on the 500p side is adult emergency trauma, and then pediatric side is at 300p. So we also have outpatient clinics. We have Redwood City, which is basically a small urgent care. What is it? Urgent care?
It's an ortho-based clinic, so very specialized protocols and views. Lots of tricks to get those particular views, where the hospital is more trauma and you've got patients that are critically injured, so you do the best you can to get the images. The ortho clinic is very specialized and specific, so you take x-rays until you get the views correct.
Great. And we also have an OR here, so we do some elective OR cases, we do GI cases, and we also do some pain injection cases here. So I get a little bit of everything here. We also have a Hoover clinic, a neuro clinic, which specializes on all neuro stuff, lumbar punctures, spine x-rays, all those good things. We have another outpatient clinic called Blake Wilbur. We have the Vaden Clinic, which actually x-rays all the students from Stanford University. And we also have the Cancer Center. So there's a lot of opportunities for different types of training and experiences in several areas. We use the type of equipment that we use is AGFA. We have both AGFA main rooms, AGFA portables. We also have CareStream. We have CareStream portables and CareStream rooms. GE, all of our C-arms are GE, and some of our fluoro units are GE. We also use Zeem flat plate C-arms or flat display C-arms, which is really, really nice. We can actually do some 3D imaging with that. We also use the O-arm. If anybody knows what the O-arm is, it's basically a big portable CT scanner where we do like 3D images for brain mapping, for all kinds of spine cases. Very, very, very cool stuff. And then we also have Siemens GI units. So our training schedule, we basically try to give you about 4 weeks or so in each area of the hospital. So trauma, doing portables, floor patients, just the general rooms, GI, OR, and then additional training if we decide to send you to another clinic or anything like that, which is, there's a lot of opportunity for that. The schedule that we're looking to hire right now is we have full-time and per diem. Per diem, we ask that you give us at least 8 weekdays a month or 4 weekends a month, and you can do a combination of the two. So basically weekends count as 2 days worth, and then you can work even more than that if you want. You can work basically full-time even if you're per diem. Our full-time staff rotates every other weekend. So you have a set schedule, but it rotates every weekend. So 1 weekend you're on, 1 weekend you're off, and then you have 1 or 2 weekdays that alternate every other week. The start times for those shifts kind of change. So while we're training you, you'll be starting mainly morning shifts, 7:30 to come in and get the general lay of the land and how we run everything. And then after that, it's anywhere we have morning shift, mid shift, PM shift, and then we have graveyard shift too. But we only want to hire people into the graveyard shift that are actually interested in graveyard, which we do have some graveyard shifts available, right?
Yes, we have 2. So you'd be working Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So Wednesday through Saturday, 2 12s, 2 8s. It definitely is not a shift for everybody physiologically. Some folks just are not meant to be up in the middle of the night working. There is a 16% differential attached to that shift. The other benefit is that it's easier to get PTO time off. So we allow 3 regular shifted techs off a day and then 1 night shift tech. So there is no competition with the rest of the shifts. There's only competition with the other 8 or so of your teammates that would be a night shift as well.
We also have differentials for working weekends, and PM shifts as well has their own differential.
Go ahead and tell them what those are.
I don't.
So
Off the top of my head.
So evening shift has a 10% differential, and the weekend differential is $2 extra per hour. And so you would get that in addition to the shift differentials if you fell with an evening or a graveyard shift.
And we also take new grads all the time. Actually, like myself, when I got hired here, and actually a lot of them actually end up turning out to be some of our strongest techs that stay with us for a while. We also take people, that have been in the industry for 30 plus years. People have been there for 2 to 5 years. We take everybody. We have a very diverse community here. And Natalie and I, and Marilyn, who wasn't able to make it on this meeting, we actually work on the front lines with you guys. That's why we're different than a lot of other hospitals and a lot of other kinds of management. Because when we're short staffed, you can see we're all wearing scrubs. We show up and we're right there on the front line with everybody else. So we have a really close community here, very good morale with our frontline staff. They always suggest workflow improvements, different kinds of suggestions for things that can just improve patient care, ideas for equipment that we might buy that makes it easier for us to image our patients. So not only do we have an idea of what's going on in the front line, we work right there with them. We have no disconnect. We hear them. We implement so many things that our techs actually bring to us. So we're just like one of you guys. And, it's a training hospital. It's a level 1 trauma center. So it's busy here. You see a lot, and we all work really, really hard, but we feel really accomplished at the end of the day. And we absolutely love working here.
So my name is Natalie. I do manage diagnostic x-ray. I do want to just say that when I interviewed Teddy, 5 years ago. Yeah. So it's funny, I found his resume recently, and one of my notes on the resume said leadership. Like, this guy needs to be in leadership. So hired him. He did really well. I put him into a lead role, even though he didn't think he was ready for a lead role or that he wanted to be in the lead role. I had to convince him a little bit that he has leadership qualities and he's the type of leader that, would help me. And then we got him into a supervisor role pretty shortly thereafter. So I'm definitely an intuitive leader. I get to know my staff. It's really important that we treat the entire person. You guys are all human beings, and you're not just here helping us with a product. We need your skills. We need you to do x-rays for us. Without the front line, Stanford could not run. You are incredibly important, and you're treated as such. People do not get in trouble here. We have conversations. We do everything to make sure that you're successful. It's a very safe environment for learning and learning at your own pace, especially new grads. Oftentimes the new grads are second career folks with different learning styles. So some people are just hit the ground running. They don't need all the training. And some folks need a little extra training. And so we generally notice that maybe before that they do. And we have a nice conversation about, what do you need to make sure that you are successful in the role that we've hired you, here for. So I think that we stand alone in that. I don't know many other leadership groups that are very patient and treat folks for what works for them. So I have employees that would prefer to come to my office. I have employees that just want a text message, some that want an email, some that just want to do their job and never talk to me. And I accommodate all of that. Everybody, we talk to folks differently depending on their personality and who they are. And I think that's incredibly valuable. And it's nice to come into work and feel like you're just part of the team. And that your leadership is like we're coworkers. Obviously, I'm a manager, Teddy's a supervisor, we are bosses, and we do the boss work when it needs to be done, but we also like to have a lot of fun. We don't take ourselves too seriously. And as Teddy mentioned, when staff gets busy, we get on the floor and do x-rays. We don't want to lose our skills. And if you know x-ray techs, you know that we're savvy. We're like the MacGyvers of the hospital. We'll take a glove box, some tape, and a chucks and, make magic happen with x-rays. And so a lot of the techs will work around issues because they can, and they think outside of the box, and they're very smart. But a lot of times we will see those issues and we actually can fix it so that the techs don't have to do these workarounds. I feel like if you're a leader and you're not on the floor and you don't do the work that your staff does, it's really hard to be empathetic to their position when they are complaining. There are things that aren't working. And so I think it does build morale, and there is buy-in, and there is a sense of camaraderie amongst all of us. So that's what's really great. Let's see.
Yeah, I got something to mention. So we do have opportunities to go into other modalities eventually too. So we always hire internally first before we go externally. An opportunity to go into CT, into interventional radiology, into cath lab. So there's a lot of different opportunities here to move on from X-ray. We always hire and to do for the NFL. So yeah. We get to do X-rays on all the players for the home and the away team, which is really fun. Get to watch the games from the front line right there. And we also do the Stanford football team. So we're involved in sports and ortho and all that stuff. It's really fun.
I think another part too is, I was hired here almost 16 years ago, right out of the program. I was still in the program. I hadn't even graduated yet, and I was hired. And I just knew in that moment that I was probably going to stay here. There's just something about working for Stanford. It feels like home. I couldn't imagine working anywhere else. It is challenging. It's busy, but you feel so good at the end of the day because you have so many critical patients that you're helping. And it feels really wonderful. So I've been here, like I said, almost 16 years. I got into the supervisor role and now into the manager role. And we have a lot of lifers here. I've got two people in my employment. One of them's been here for a little over 30 years, and the other one's working on 40 years. 40 years, and still going strong. And, so we have a lot of folks who've been here for 20 plus years. So we do have folks that just stay. Some people leave as they're meant to. There's other opportunities. They want to go into IR or CT, as Teddy was mentioning, or MRI. Sometimes you come into X-ray because you want to go to other modalities. So it's really important for us that we come out and we do the recruiting, since this is kind of the first stop for folks. Make sure that we hire good people. And honestly, we don't hire based on your skills, because even if you've been an X-ray tech for 4 years, I have no idea how well you can shoot an X-ray. It's not like during the interview, I have you, run in and shoot a chest X-ray real quick so I can see how you are with patient care. I'm like losing my train of thought. Sorry, guys.
No, we want people that are good people and,
yes.
and have good attitudes and that we can relate with, because all the technical stuff we can teach you guys. That's
yes.
easy. So we have that personal connection with you guys, and that's how we feel you guys out with the interview and everything like that. So we just have real people here.
Thank you, Teddy. Yeah, I get into my little side stories and I'm like, here we go. So that was my point, that we hire based on personality. I want good people here. I want people to treat each other well. We have a really great culture, a culture of learning, a culture of not being a bully, working hard. Most of our staff hangs out outside of work. I never get invited, so I'm a little sad there. No, I'm kidding. Who wants to hang out with the boss? But they do a lot of things. They go river rafting. They go out for drinks, birthdays, people leaving. All the time. This group and even folks that have been with us that moved on to other modalities or other organizations, those folks are still hanging out. The other piece that's really cool, we hire contingent workers, travelers. We have hired on so many, I can't even tell you the number, because they come and they just really love our department. I have one gentleman right now, his last day is tomorrow, and he's pretty bummed about it. He just wants to go explore the world a bit, but he might come back and work full time for us. But he did give me the best compliment, just in saying it's the best place he's ever worked for. And as a traveler, he's worked for a lot of organizations. So, yeah.
And we have a traveler that just started back today that was with us for about 2 years on a contract, and then went off, did a couple other contracts, and loved it so much that he just came back too. So yeah, I think that speaks volumes to what we have here. It's special.
It really is special, and none of us changed coming up. I think that many of you have seen somebody who was your equal, and then they get into a leadership role, and all of a sudden things have changed. There's a different way that they relate to you. Different languages used. There is kind of that managerial language that starts happening, and it's like they forgot where they came from. And we still identify as tech. When people ask me, what do you do? I don't say I manage a department at Stanford. I say I'm an X-ray tech, and I just happen to, help run a department. So we all, first and foremost, we are X-ray techs, and I haven't changed. I probably should have changed a little bit, but I haven't changed much. Oh, because it says private chat.
There we go.
Oh, here we go, guys. Sorry. Okay, I've applied to Stanford. Okay, I've applied to Stanford, but it seems that I never have the qualifications, but I do. What should I do? So, Labrina, is there a way that we can get them my contact information, like an email that they can reach out to me directly, and then I can see what's going on?
Yes. So I will reach out to, I think Yasmin asked that question. So I will connect with Yasmin after the live and be sure to get your contact information over to her.
Okay. Oh, I love this one. Do you enjoy Canadians?
Employ.
Oh, employ. I was like, I do enjoy Canadians. Okay, listen. Yes, we do employ Canadians. I'm sure.
Hannah's Canadian.
Oh yeah, Hannah's
or
Canadian.
he's Canadian.
But honestly, I went to Canadians like to go to Mexico, to Cabo specifically, because it's a pretty straight shot. And I hung out with 50 Canadians in Cabo. So not only will we employ Canadians, but I do in fact enjoy Canadians. Wish more department managers had your mindset. Thank you, Nate. And honestly, I agree. I have really great leadership. That is something I forgot to mention. My leaders are very frontline focused as well. They understand the importance of the front line and want to make sure that they are taken care of. So there are check-ins like, hey, Natalie, did you check in with your staff? Have you done this for your staff? And I'm pretty on top of that stuff, but it's always good for the reminder. And I feel like things trickle down from the top. So because my leadership is so frontline focused, and so they allow me to expand the budget when we have very expensive items, but we need it either for ergonomics for our techs, or we just need it to give good patient care. My leaders allow that, where I don't have to then go to my techs and say, oh, the budget, we, sorry, we can't do. No, we always can get those items. So it's really great.
Absolutely.
How hard is it to get hired with Stanford? Oh, Yasmin. Okay, gotcha. So we'll talk to her more. Yeah. Do you have any HR positions? So that would be a good question for Labrina to answer. And then do you have any, are you also part of the LPCH? No, LPC, I mean, yes and no. LPCH, they are a sister hospital, but they are a separate entity. They're very own organization. We cannot, like, our techs can't go over there and do x-ray. They can't come over here. We're not supposed to share equipment. So we are very separate. So Labrina, did you want to answer the question from Shireen about do you have any HR positions? And then do you want to go ahead and discuss kind of the process for onboarding and money and all that?
Sure. Thanks, Natalie. So I'll reach out to Shireen separately after the live, and we can discuss her background and any possible opportunities that we might have in HR. And then as far as the process, I did see someone ask the question about the recruiting process. So first of all, Natalie is one of the best managers to support. Everything that her and Teddy have mentioned is absolutely true. I've been supporting her for the last 3 years as the recruiter. So I can back up everything that she says about her leadership style, her team. I know they have a lot of fun. I visited her at the hospital and thought, oh my goodness, when I'm on my day off, even I'll come over and hang out with you guys because it looks like they have a lot of fun in the department. And I know her team has a great deal of respect for her. She is one of those managers who works with you. If you're struggling, she will work with you to make sure you're up to par and to get you to exactly where you need to be. So I can back up everything that she says about her management style. Now, as far as the process, Natalie is not one of those managers that you submit an application and she sits on it. Sometimes I think she's watching her computer because an application will come in and she's on it, emailing me saying, I know something came in, can you forward it over? So I'll route the resumes to Natalie. She'll review them. If you're qualified, she does reach out to you within a couple of days, either for a phone interview or in-person interview, depending on your schedule. But the process is typically not very long before you get a phone call if you're qualified. From there, once you are interviewed, if you're selected to move forward in the process, I'll work with you on the offer, and then we'll start the onboarding process. You work with our internal mobility team for the onboarding process, which usually takes about 2 to 3 weeks to get through the entire process, depending on a couple of factors. Your background check has to be clear. We check your references. We check your education. So those items could take a little bit longer, but typically it's about 3 weeks before you clear the entire process. And then you come to new hire orientation, which is right now done virtually. At some point, hopefully we'll be back together and you'll get to see your future teammates and be all together at some point. But right now we're doing that virtually. So that's the recruiting process. You'll apply. Natalie will reach out to you. Interviews will be scheduled. If you're selected to move forward, you'll work with me and the onboarding team for the onboarding process. Let's talk a little bit about the fun stuff, which are the benefits. So if you do get hired, your benefits will start on the first of the month following your date of hire. So let's say you were hired on May the 28th. Technically, your benefits could start on June the 1st. You don't have to wait. I know some companies have to wait for 30 days before your benefits start, but here they start right away. Full medical, dental, and vision. Our retirement plan is a 403B plan. So after 1 year of employment, Stanford will automatically give you 5% towards your 403B, and they'll match your contributions dollar for dollar up to 5%. So potentially 10% could come from Stanford. And yes, that is free money after 1 year of employment. So that's our benefits. I think I've covered everything. If I haven't covered anything about either our benefits or the process, feel free to reach out in the chat and I'll be sure to get back to you with those answers. Back to you, Carly.
Thanks, Labrina. I've loved this so far, Natalie and Teddy, just showing just kind of the atmosphere in your department, and it's just fun and it's laid back and everyone enjoys working there. I know you touched a little bit, you love hiring new grads. For those that are currently in school and that are considering Stanford, is there something that makes us stand out versus other hospitals or other competitors in the area? If someone is curious about Stanford, are they able to come stop by or reach out to you ahead of graduation to learn more about everything that Stanford entails, or to come take a tour? I mean, is there anything that you can offer a new grad to kind of make an informed decision about where they're wanting to apply come graduation?
That's a really good point. So, and I will get into that. I just want to quickly note that we do go to the colleges. So we're going to go to Foothill. We'll probably be going to Kenyatta City College. We usually take Labrina with us. And so we go talk to everybody and just let them know, hey, you can apply now. So if you're a second year and you're about to graduate, you can apply before you've graduated. The only tech jobs that are online are Tech 2, which clearly you are not yet, but we can bring the rec down to a Tech 1. So everybody can apply on the Tech 2. Labrina will push it through. We do interviews once an ARRT has, that board exam has been taken and passed. Then we do the interview and then we wait until the California license goes through, and then we work on the onboarding process. We don't have a formal volunteer or shadowing program like we did pre-pandemic. However, we do have a lot of interest coming in, and some folks who need clinical hours, a volunteer for their different programs that they want to apply to, and also some folks that just want to shadow to see if X-ray is something that they want to do as a career. We absolutely would love to let some folks shadow if they're just trying to see if Stanford's, like, what does the commute look like to get to work? So they want to drive in. How big is the department? What does it look like on a normal day when staff is running around? We say it's very high volume, but you don't understand what that means until you're in it. We are now doing in-person interviews. So when we interview, if you would like a tour or you want us to spend a little more time with you, you can let us know so we can allot more time and we can walk you around and we can take you to, 300 Pasteur Drive and show you 500 Pasteur Drive. So again, you would just, what I'm having folks do is directly reach out to me, and then we're scheduling volunteer shadowing, or these interviews.
Hi, India. I see your comment there. I know you just joined. If you have any questions, go ahead and type them into the chat there. Let's see, what did Yasmin say? I wanted to work at Stanford. Mom went there for surgery.
You guys made her feel like she was a family.
Oh,
that's wonderful.
That is great. We actually have a lot of techs here that have had experience with their family and themselves actually being a part of Stanford and getting their healthcare done here before. And that was a big motivating factor in why they ended up at Stanford.
And I'm going to be honest with you, we are on the hunt. We have 9 open positions. We have a lot of travelers employed right now. We're fully staffed, but we would like to get permanent folks, benefited folks in. And that's important to us, but we want people who really want to work here. I don't want you to apply if you are applying at 50 different places and you just need a job. Stanford's not the place to work unless you're very passionate about what you do and really want to work for us. It's good money, but you can't do this job here for the money. You will get, you'll be burnt out. So when I came in, heard it was level 1 trauma center, heard that we were open 24/7. I was going to see all kinds of things. We were super busy. This is the kind of chaotic, very busy environment that I love. If this is not an environment that you love, then, maybe the Redwood City Clinic or some other organization would be a better fit for you. So we want the folks who really want to be here. So let's see.
You can send me the
info on the program, email us there. Thank you very much for acknowledging me. Okay. So Carly, you probably answered this, but how are we going to get them like my direct email, these folks?
Great question. So at the end of this live event on the various platforms, whether you're watching it on YouTube, you're on LinkedIn, you're on our Twitter, we will be going in, putting our career site link. We'll also be putting Labrina's contact information and her LinkedIn profile on LinkedIn to reach out to her. And then from there, she'll connect you with Natalie and Teddy so you can learn more about the opportunities within the radiology department.
Awesome. Thank you, Carly. I'm also on LinkedIn. So, feel free to reach out. Teddy's on LinkedIn. I also just want to say a comment about how busy it is. I don't want people to get nervous about that. We definitely focus on the quality of images, not the quantity. You will never be pressured to move faster unless, your pace is out of the norm slower, where I think it's a workflow issue or something else is going on, and then we'll work with you. I'll go out and take x-rays with you and see where we're having some holdups. But for the most part, we just really want you to take your time, focus on the one patient you have and don't worry about the 10 others, because those will be, everybody will help and we'll get those done. Something else, there's an expectation. The Stanford name just holds this expectation. When people come to our organization, they come for the best care. And so we need to provide the best care. We do have something called the coaching model. We do have a tech coordinator. She helps with the protocols and she helps with coaching. It's non-punitive. It's just to make us all better techs. And I feel like when you get into this field, if you've gotten to a place where you think you know everything, then it might be time to move on, because who wants to be bored doing a job when there's nothing more to learn and there's no more challenges? You're definitely going to continue having challenges here. I've been taking x-rays for 16 years. I still don't know it all. Teddy just taught me a trick a few weeks ago on how to get an axillary shoulder with somebody in a C-collar against a wall bucky and a trauma gurney. And I was like, okay, 16 years later, look at me getting schooled, and it's amazing and it's fun. And we're all learning together with this coaching model. So it took our techs a little while to get used to it, but we review all images and we're working with the radiologists, and we coach the techs. Hey, remember to get the diaphragm on this x-ray. Remember not to have too much rotation for this x-ray. All the things. And, we're all just learning here. So there's room to grow. And I also think that you learn more from your mistakes. So we definitely know everybody's human and mistakes are going to be made. It's just about trying to not have 10 of those in like a month, So let's see. Do you have any position? Technician lab. That's not that's not us, my friend. So I would check the job website for any lab jobs. Any project coordinator or research administration position have been applying. Yeah, not in this department, my friend Brenda. Sorry about that. But you could reach out to me and I could try to help you connect with somebody if you wanted to on LinkedIn. I don't know what else to add, Miss Carly or Labrina. Do you?
Yeah. So one thing I've been thinking about as you and Teddy were talking, just about the culture of your unit and everything, and just kind of it's like a cohesive family unit that you guys have over there. What are ways? So obviously, starting a new job can be scary. If someone's relocating, what are ways that you guys engage your team so that they feel like they have this community at work? If they start to feel isolated or they start to have mental health issues, how does the team support that? How do they build friendships so that on those rough days, they feel like they have a support system?
Do you want me to tackle this one?
Yeah.
Okay. So listen, the pandemic did a lot to all of us. I myself have had some mental health things happen. A lot of my staff have had some things go on. It's tough. And so folks make friends here. So you're new, you come in, the travelers always make friends. They're not from here. They end up hanging out with these, with my techs, like days after they meet them. It's not cliquey. It's weird. I've never worked for a place where it wasn't particularly cliquey. And I think Stanford, our department, was at one point, but now with this leadership, we've really made it just a great place to work where we don't have those things happening. As I mentioned before, and obviously I hold a lot of hard skills as well. I wouldn't be a manager if I didn't, but I really am talented with my soft skills. And so one thing that I'm able to do is I just notice differences in folks when they're just very minute. And I oftentimes will notice a change in one of my employees before they even know there's something going on. So if I notice somebody who's normally very upbeat and positive, starting to be a little negative, or they're quiet, or things are going on, I generally will actually call them into my office and say, hey, I just want to check in on you, because I think we all need to check in on each other. Is everything going okay? Do you have everything you need at work? Do you have, all the tools? Is there anything you need from me to be more successful? And if the answer is everything's at work, then I say, okay, everything's going okay at home. You don't have to tell me specifics, but I just noticed that you've been a little quieter or a little more agitated, and this is not your personality. What can I do for you? How can we help you? And then, I have a little squishy in my office. So we, hold the squishy and kind of have therapy sessions. And I think that's what's great about my position is I'm sometimes a technologist. I'm a manager. I'm a therapist. I'm a friend. I'm a family member. I just do whatever the techs need me to do. And the techs check in on me too, because sometimes I'm off and they'll come and say, are you okay? What's going on at home for you? Are your cats okay? I'm a crazy cat lady. But anyway, so we all check in with each other. Teddy and I have, taken phone calls at 10 o'clock at night when folks are struggling and made sure that they got the help that they needed immediately. And then check up every bit of time. I do have folks that I check in with regularly to make sure that they're healthy and doing okay. And it's really important for staff to know that you care about them. I know who's dating. I know what people's families are doing. I know how many kids and what the kids are into. I know more about people with animals, but I'm kidding. But yeah, so we care about these people truly. And so yeah, that's how we tackle mental health kind of stuff. I see Bonifacio. Hello, my friend. Nice to see you again. Yasmin, you're the type of manager I need. I've never had that experience with any of my, I hear this a lot. I'm going to be honest with you. And it's just who I am. It's just my personality. It's just, it's just something I'm good with the soft skills. And it's not fake, it's just who I am. I'm very empathetic, probably to my detriment. I definitely take on a lot of emotional stuff here. And then on the weekends, I kind of have to recharge so that I'm nice and fresh and can do more things. So,
one real quick, Yasmin, I saw that you said another question about what types of jobs we have open. So we have full-time and per diem positions open, and we also have some graveyard shifts open as well.
And we do have we have 2 part-time positions also.
2 part-time too.
Yeah, so part-time would be every other weekend, but you would do 3 days one week, 2 days the other. You could pick up more shifts.
Mm-hmm.
You could work full-time essentially if you wanted to, if our budget could handle it, which right now it definitely could. So around the holidays, you could make a little extra money, but during normal times, if you have kids or other things going on in your life, then you don't have to work full-time. Let's see. India says, I'm currently working with mental health is one of my expertise, and I feel that this will be something that'd be beneficial for help certain humanity in this field. I'm very interested in connecting the right avenue to become a part of this field. I'm looking forward to having a new direction. Oh, that's great. I mean, honestly, I didn't know that I was going to have the ability to do so much healing with folks. It's been so rewarding being in the role that I'm in. I'm able to make a lot of changes. And, I'm going to be honest, I grew up with a lot of these techs and they were not sure how I was going to do in this role. In the past, I was just very outspoken. Wasn't that I was trying to be mean. I just would kind of say the obvious. And sometimes you come off a little more aggressive or confrontational when you just speak, straightforward in that way. And so my staff has taught me and my supervisors, Teddy, Victor, Marilyn, they've all made me a better leader. They've especially with Teddy, for instance, when he came in, he was brand new. I was very controlling of his stuff because I felt like I had to be in the beginning, which I kind of did because he was learning. And then there was a point when I just had to let go and let him fly. And, he was asking me to do that and I was still kind of holding on. And then I just had a moment where I realized, you know what, it's time to let this bird fly. He's got this, and he's not going to learn unless he makes a couple of wrong moves for himself. So, and we are actually taking leadership courses right now. It's just like crucial conversations. And so even though I do hold a lot of soft skills, I have a lot to learn. So we're always trying to be just better people. This has made me a better human actually in my personal life, doing this job, and just always trying to be stronger and better. So you want to?
All right. How do you look, Yasmin? How do you look for a specific department to apply? So you just go to the Stanford Jobs website. That I'm sure that information will be here at the end of this presentation. And you make sure you're not looking at LPCH. You're looking at SHC, Stanford Healthcare, and just for look for basically any radiologic technology position. We have the part-time, per diem, and the full-time position. So just apply to one, and if it's not the one that you were hoping for, at least we have your information. We can move you around to fit you into whatever role works best for you.
And I think if you just type in the search bar radiology, the diagnostic radiology will come up. You'll probably see some CT and MRI positions if they're out there, but ours will pop up also. So we've got Dr. Gurgis.
Hi. Do you have a position for assistant professors in healthcare administration or biotechnology? I'm not sure. This is about radiology specifically at a hospital. You'll have to just probably Google that and figure it out.
Or I think if you want to reach out to me on LinkedIn, I can, work with some doctors or try to get you where you need to be. I'm happy to help you with that. Okay.
Let's see.
I'm planning to work twice there, but it didn't materialize. Oh, Bonifacio. Yeah, that's unfortunate, my friend. Yeah.
And Brenda, you'll have our email and contact details at the end of this presentation. So if you want to reach out to us with any questions, by all means.
And I'm on LinkedIn, so if you want to go ahead and message me.
Me too.
Yeah, we'll definitely get back to you. Can I have your LinkedIn? Carly, help me out with this. Can they just search my name on LinkedIn, I'm assuming, right? And find me on there?
For those that, since I saw a lot of these comments were coming from our LinkedIn chat, if you go to LinkedIn and go into the chat, I've actually tagged everyone's LinkedIn, so you can go ahead and click on there. And then our careers page is also linked on there so that you can go look for those opportunities.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Carly.
All right.
Okay. Let's see. I don't see
Any other questions?
Oh, here we go. I need to be licensed and certified, or can I get that through the program? Okay. So India, we actually don't have an X-ray program here. So there are programs all over the Bay Area. Kenyatta, Foothill, City College, Gurnick. Gurnick is private. There's a tuition fee. I believe it's $50,000.
It's a 2-year program at pretty much any of them. You get real world experience, which is nice. So it's a trade school. You know exactly what you're doing in school is going to be what you're doing once you get hired. And the Bay Area pays really well. I mean, most areas pay really well, but especially here.
Yeah. We did just have a market value assessment done last year, and we had an increase. So we are very competitive with our rates, and we're very fair. We're equitable. We talk money freely. I think it's a little bit of a kind of the old way where don't talk about what you make. Don't ask that on an interview. Why not? You need to ask how much money you're going to make so you can make decisions. And if you don't find out for 3 weeks with the onboarding process, you could have gotten a job somewhere where maybe there were other things going on that would be better for you. So we do talk money. Don't be afraid to ask about that. Your resume does not need to be 1 page. If it's 10 pages long, then so be it. We're not judgmental or weird about, numbers of pages or those kinds of things.
Not at all.
How do we get a recap of this live? I'm pretty sure my last live was still being streamed like forever. So, Carly, can you help with this? Where can they find this live in the future?
It is saved on our LinkedIn, and it will also be on our YouTube and our Twitter. But you can go back and watch this video later tonight. There's a link to be able to share. It's on the top right. You click the URL address. You can share that. They can come back to watch it. But it's also on our Stanford Healthcare Careers Twitter, as well as our YouTube.
Great. Thank you.
And I don't remember if Labrina mentioned this, but as a brand new grad coming in, you will be making $58 and some change per hour. You will be at Tech 1 for the first year. And in that year, that's when you're getting your workflows together, you're troubleshooting equipment, you're learning how to speak with physicians, you're understanding, what pathologies require you to do certain images, all those types of things. And you can run the lead desk. You're able to delegate do all the things. So at your 1 year anniversary, we then give you a promotion to a Tech 2. At about the 6 month mark, if I'm noticing that you're not, like I'm kind of concerned, you're not enjoying running the desk, or you're intimidated, you're not doing it particularly well, because you're nervous about it, we will work with you so that everybody makes it to a year. We promote them once they make it to a year, I should say. So if we're noticing that you're falling a little bit behind, we take care of that, because that is our responsibility. We need to make sure that you get to where you need to be. And so at that point, you receive a significant raise, and then you also get the across the board, which is not guaranteed, but cost of living does go up, especially in the Bay Area. So we generally do get that. Excuse me. And then there'll also be your step increase. So at that year mark, you go from 58 to 60, whatever. And I can look up those numbers more as we talk through.
And every consecutive year that you complete here with Stanford, you get more and more PTO that you generate per pay period. And it really, really adds up really quick. After a couple of years, you're getting 2 or 3 days per pay period almost.
So per pay period, you'll get a day essentially. So 2 days per month. I've been here for 16 years. I accrue 12 hours of pay period. It's crazy. It's crazy. So there are companies. I mean, really, if you get into the medical field, it's the place to be. There's so much job security, and the benefits just work different. So when you go to work for, a private employer, your whatever it is you do, they'll say, okay, you get 2 weeks paid vacation a year. That's so crazy. I mean, I don't know how people survive on that. So you'll get a ton of PTO. Our benefits package really, I think a lot of new grads are younger now. When I came out, it was a lot of us folks who were in our 30s getting into our second career, but a lot of these guys are in their early 20s. And so I think, the importance, as it was for me, is on that hourly rate. But you need to remember that even though you're just in your 20s now, you're going to be in your 60s at some point. I'm 47. It sneaks up on you. Yeah. And so our 403B package is ridiculous. Stanford gives you 5%, then they match you at 4%. That's already 9% plus what you're putting in. Yeah. You'll start seeing your money grow. Our health benefits are ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, that alone is reason to work here. Forget the rest of the stuff.
Absolutely.
So I'm unable to locate Natalie LinkedIn. My last name's Delamagine. I can look for you.
I'll write you down.
Yeah,
Dr. Zay,
I'll reach out to you.
We'll look you up.
For sure. What else could we share? I feel like we've shared.
Yeah, I feel like we covered quite a bit. Anybody else have any other questions?
Or Carly, is there anything else you can think of that I've missed? Or?
I think you've done a great job just explaining the department, everything that you guys have to offer. I did want to kick it back to Labrina real quick, just so that she could wrap up. She had the notes about salary and just reiterating about the onboarding process going forward for radiology.
Great. Yes. Thank you.
Thanks again, Carly. So yes, Natalie briefly touched upon salary. If you come in as a Rad Tech 1, salary would start at $58.25 per hour. Relief for Tech 1 would be $63.06. And if you had more experience and came in as a Tech 2, it would be $61.81 to start. So those are the starting salaries for those positions. Again, benefits start pretty quickly on the first of the month following your date of employment or your date of hire. One good thing that I will say about Natalie is she is definitely a teaching manager. A lot of times, if you're looking for growth, if you want to go into CT, a lot of our hiring managers pull from Natalie's team because she does such an amazing and awesome job at training her team. So if growth is something you're looking for, I'm not saying come on board and immediately start looking for those other opportunities, but I am saying she's an excellent manager as well as a great teacher. So you would be joining not only a great company, but an amazing team. So feel free to reach out to us on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. Natalie's on LinkedIn. I've written down some names and I will try to connect with you all if you can't find us. We definitely appreciate you joining us for our live today, and we hope to see you someday here at Stanford. Back to you, Carly. Carly, you're on mute.
Thank you. Just to kind of wrap it up and put a bow on this. So for everyone that's watching, whether you were on Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, in the comments, go down. We will be linking Natalie, Teddy, and Labrina's LinkedIn, their contact information, as well as our careers website, where you can find more information about our radiology openings. Feel free to reach out to Natalie, Teddy, or Labrina if you're interested in getting into radiology, just learning the steps of becoming a radiology technologist, and then joining our Stanford family. And if you go to one of the colleges that Natalie mentioned she'll be visiting, reach out. She would love to have a personalized one-on-one chat with you, just to give you more information, answer your questions in person during those times. But anything else that you want to add, Natalie and Teddy, before we sign off?
I want to just address William Cleary here. Do you still have a CT fellowship? Have any information regarding that program? We do have a fellowship. Reach out to me and I will get you connected with our CT manager, Mulan. She's amazing and she's got information regarding that. I guess finally, I would just like to say that I thank you all for participating and asking really great questions. And as Carly mentioned, I really do hope that we, see some resumes coming through in the next few days. I would really like an opportunity to interview you and, get you part of the Stanford family here, Stanford team.
Absolutely. Yeah, just want to say thank you guys too. Reach out to us on LinkedIn or email. If you guys have any questions at any time, even if you're thinking about getting into an X-ray tech program before you can apply for a job here, we're willing to help out anybody. So thank you guys so much for your time, and really hope to see some of your resumes.
Thank you, Labrina and Carly, for putting this together.
Yes, thank you guys.
We could not do it without you two. So thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone that joined us today. And we'll see you on the next Stanford Live.
Woo woo! Bye, guys.
Bye.